I want you to think about the last time you checked your bank account and felt genuinely confused. Not because you spent on anything dramatic. No vacation, no emergency, no big purchase, just the regular month. And somehow, there's less than there should be. You're not imagining it. There is a slow, quiet leak happening in millions of households right now. Not a robbery, not a scam, something far more insidious because it has your permission. Your automatic permission, renewed every single month. Here's the thing nobody tells you: the price has changed, the quality dropped, the math completely broke. But your habits, your deeply comfortable, completely automatic habits stayed exactly the same. And the companies who depend on those habits, they're counting on you never stopping to run the numbers. Because the moment you run the numbers, the game is over. Today, I'm going to make you run the numbers. These are 10 things that used to be reasonable purchases. Things your parents did without question, things you do without question. Things that in 2026 have quietly become some of the most efficient wealth extraction machines ever pointed at the middle class. Some of these will surprise you, some will frustrate you. One or two might genuinely change the way you spend money for the rest of your life. Let's get into it. Picture the moment. You're at the register. You've made the purchase. You're already mentally moving on. And then the sales associate leans in with that practiced, concerned expression. Would you like to protect your investment for just $12 a month? That word protect is doing a lot of dishonest work. Here is what they know and you don't. Retailers profit 50 to 80% on extended warranties. These are the highest margin products in the entire store. Higher than the TV, higher than the laptop, higher than anything on the shelves. They push warranties this hard because the math overwhelmingly, devastatingly favors them. Products either fail within the manufacturer's warranty, which already covers it, or they outlast the extended warranty entirely. The tiny window where the extended warranty actually pays out, it's small enough that companies print billions in profit selling you protection you will almost certainly never use. Studies show fewer than 5% of warranty purchasers ever make a successful claim. The other 95% simply hand money to a corporation and receive nothing. If you genuinely want protection, create your own. Every dollar you would have spent on warranties goes into a dedicated account. Something breaks, you have cash. Nothing breaks, you keep it. Over 5 years, the self-insurer wins almost every time. The only exception, AppleCare on a device you depend on completely. That's it. Everything else is fear sold in a box. $6 for water. $18 for a sandwich made 3 hours ago. $14 for a beer that costs $2 at any gas station outside this building. Airport pricing has always been aggressive, but what exists now in 2026 has crossed into something that should genuinely make you angry. Airports know exactly what you are in that moment. You are tired. You are rushed. Your options ended the moment you cleared security. You are, in the language of economics, a perfectly captive audience. And they have priced accordingly. A family of 4 getting drinks and snacks at an airport doesn't spend $20. They spend $60 to $80 without a single indulgent purchase. A routine meal before a flight runs $25 to $35 per person for food you'd pay $10 for anywhere else on Earth. This is not an accident. Every vendor operating past security paid for that location. They built the predatory pricing into their business model from day one. You are not a customer to them. You are a resource to be extracted. The solution is embarrassingly simple and requires only minor planning. Bring an empty bottle through security. Fill it at the fountain. Pack snacks before you leave the house. Eat a real meal before you arrive. Accept that a 4-hour flight without a $7 bag of pretzels will not harm you. Every dollar you spend past security is a premium paid for being unprepared. And the companies past that security checkpoint have spent years studying exactly how much discomfort you'll tolerate before paying whatever they demand. Remember when Airbnb was the smart person's travel hack? Local host, authentic neighborhood, half the price of a hotel, more space, real kitchen. It made obvious, undeniable sense. That Airbnb is gone. What replaced it is something built to hide its true cost until the precise moment you're emotionally committed to booking. You've already mentally pictured yourself in that apartment. You've shown your partner the photos, And then on the final checkout screen, reality arrives. $149 per night. 3 nights. Sounds like $447. Add the cleaning fee. $280. Service fee. $140. Local occupancy taxes, $65. Your $447 stay just became $932. The price doubled on the final screen. After you've already decided, and here's the cruelty that makes this uniquely infuriating. Despite paying $280 for cleaning, most Airbnb listings hand you a checkout checklist. Strip the beds, start the laundry. Take out the trash, wash the dishes, vacuum the floors. You are paying for cleaning while also doing the cleaning. Hotels looked at what Airbnb was doing and got competitive. Many now offer comparable space, daily housekeeping, guaranteed quality, and no hidden fees. The all-in cost is visible from the first search. No surprises, no psychological games on the checkout screen. Before you book any Airbnb, calculate the real nightly cost after every fee. Compare it to a real hotel. Factor in the chores. The math has shifted, and for shorter trips especially, it has shifted dramatically. There is a grocery store in most American cities with soft lighting, beautiful produce displays, carefully curated background music, and prices that exist in an entirely different reality from the rest of the food retail world. And millions of people shop there because it feels like self-care. Here's the uncomfortable truth about that feeling. The organic milk at Whole Foods carries the same USDA certification as the organic milk at Costco. Both came from cows following identical federal standards. One costs 30 to 40% more because of the store's rent, aesthetic choices, and marketing that convinced you higher prices equal higher quality. This pattern repeats across nearly every commodity product: eggs, butter, olive oil, bread, pasta, canned goods. Items sourced from the same suppliers, carrying the same certifications, priced dramatically differently because one store sells you an identity alongside the groceries. A household spending $600 monthly at a premium grocery store is spending $400 for food and $200 for the feeling of being someone who shops there. That $200 monthly feeling costs $2,400 annually. Over a decade, it costs $24,000 plus the compounding returns that money never generated. Buy your staples at Aldi, Costco, or Trader Joe's. Save premium store trips for genuinely specialty items you cannot find elsewhere. The ambiance of expensive stores does not improve the taste of your olive oil, and it definitely does not improve your retirement account. I want you to think about the last time you went to the gym. Not the last time you planned to go, not the last time you felt guilty about not going, the last time you actually walked through that door. If you had to think for more than 3 seconds, I already know the answer to the next question. How much are you paying every month for the privilege of feeling guilty? The fitness industry business model is built on one specific bet that you will pay and not show up. If every member used their membership consistently, the building would collapse under the capacity. They need your money without your presence. And human psychology, with its optimistic January commitments and February reality, delivers exactly that every single year. The average unused gym membership costs $40 monthly. That's $480 annually. That's $4,800 over a decade. For a building you stopped visiting in March, here's the honest test. Pull up your last 3 months of gym check-ins. Calculate the actual cost per visit. If that number is over $15, you don't have a gym habit. You have an expensive subscription to ambition that never converted to action. Cancel it. Walk outside. Use YouTube. Buy a single kettlebell. The body does not require a $60 monthly membership to be healthy. It requires showing up, and showing up works everywhere. Here's a question I need you to sit with for a moment. When is the last time your bank did something genuinely for you? Not processed a transaction that's automated, not answered a phone call that's customer service. Something for you. Something that improved your financial life. Something that justified the $15 monthly maintenance fee, the $35 overdraft charge, the ATM fees, the minimum balance penalties. The average American pays nearly $300 annually in banking fees. $300. Simply for the privilege of storing their own money in an institution that then loans that same money to other people and keeps the profit. In 2026, this is a choice, not a necessity. Online banks operate without the enormous overhead of physical branch networks. No buildings, no tellers, no downtown real estate. They pass those savings directly to customers, no maintenance fees, no minimum balances. And interest rates on savings accounts of 4 to 5% compared to the 0.01% your traditional bank offers on the same deposits. On a $10,000 emergency fund, that interest rate difference is $400 annually that your current bank is keeping instead of giving to you. Your bank is not your financial partner. It is a corporation extracting fees and interest from your deposits while offering you the least possible return in exchange. Switching to an online bank takes 2 hours. The annual savings can exceed $500 when you combine eliminated fees with competitive interest. The branch around the corner is not worth $500 per year. It has never been worth $500 per year. A water bottle at a convenience store, $3. The same brand at a grocery store, $0.75. A six-pack from Costco, $0.28 per bottle. The word convenience in that store's name is the most profitable word in retail. You are not paying for water. You are paying a premium, sometimes 400% above grocery prices, for having failed to plan ahead. This sounds harsh. It's meant to. Because the math of small daily convenience purchases is genuinely shocking when you actually add it up. A $3 drink and a $2 snack every day. That's $5 daily. $1,825 annually. For items that would cost $600 at a grocery store with 10 minutes of planning. $1,225 per year, spent on convenience, on the gap between thinking ahead and not. That $1,225 invested annually at 8% returns for 30 years becomes $150,000. $150,000, built or destroyed entirely on whether you remembered to fill a water bottle before leaving the house. The convenience store doesn't just sell snacks. It sells the illusion that your time is too valuable to plan ahead. And then it charges you $1,200 a year to prove it. There are more self-storage facilities in the United States than there are McDonald's, Starbucks, and Dunkin' locations combined. Let that image stay with you for a moment. An entire industry generating over $40 billion annually, built entirely on one human psychological failure: our inability to let go of things we are not using. The average storage unit costs $150 to $250 monthly. That's up to $3,000 per year to store furniture from a previous apartment, boxes never unpacked from the last move, exercise equipment that didn't work at home and is definitely not being used in a concrete box down the street. Here's the question nobody asks honestly. If you haven't touched something in 12 months, do you actually need to own it? Or are you paying monthly rent to avoid making a difficult decision about it? After 2 years of storage fees, most people have paid more in rent than the contents are worth. You are literally spending more money to keep the thing than the thing itself costs to replace. The storage unit is not a solution. It is a monument to procrastination with a monthly fee attached. Sell what has value. Donate what someone else could use. Throw away what is genuinely trash. The emotional difficulty of that afternoon is a one-time cost. The storage unit bill is a forever cost. If something is important enough to keep, it is important enough to keep where you live. If it isn't worth that space, it is not worth $2,400 a year to pretend otherwise. A cocktail at a decent bar costs $15 to $18. The ingredients in that cocktail cost approximately $2. A glass of wine by the glass at a restaurant runs $12 to $16. The same wine, purchased as a bottle at a grocery store, costs $12 for 4 glasses. The markup on alcohol is among the highest of anything sold legally in America, and we consume it in bars and restaurants without any emotional friction whatsoever. Because drinking is social. Because the environment matters. Because it's just one drink. Except it is rarely one drink. And the math of just one drink at 4 nights per month is $60 to $72 per outing. $240 to $288 monthly $2,880 to $3,456 annually for beverages that would cost $800 at home. Over $2,000 in annual markup, paid voluntarily, for liquid that is chemically identical to what sits on your kitchen counter. This is not an argument for drinking alone at home. Social environments have genuine value. The experience is real. The connection matters. But conscious awareness transforms a blind habit into a deliberate choice. Drink before you go out. Alternate drinks with water. Order beer instead of cocktails. Choose wine by the bottle when dining with others. It's almost always dramatically better value per glass. Every drink at full bar markup is a choice. The problem is that most people are making it without realizing they're making it at all. There's an old saying, buy cheap, buy twice. In 2026, buy cheap, buy 5 times. The quality of inexpensive goods has collapsed. Manufacturers have discovered something deeply cynical that they can cut quality faster than they cut prices, increasing their margins while delivering products that fail almost immediately after the return window closes. You buy a $35 blender, it breaks in 4 months. You buy another, then another. 3 blenders later, you've spent $105 and still own something that barely works. A $90 blender would have run for 8 years. This pattern is everywhere. Budget furniture, discount appliances, fast fashion, cheap tools. The low initial number feels like saving money. The repeated replacement cycle is one of the most expensive habits a household can have. The $40 jacket replaced every year costs $40 annually. The $180 jacket worn for 7 years costs $26 annually. You spent less on the expensive one. This doesn't mean always buying the most expensive option. It means calculating cost per year of expected use instead of fixating on the sticker price. It means recognizing that cheap products are not budget-friendly. They are expensive products sold to people who cannot see past the first transaction. The companies making disposable goods are counting on you never connecting the dots between purchase and replacement. The moment you start counting replacements, the cheap option stops being cheap at all. Here's what I need you to understand. None of what I just described is an accident. Every single category on this list was optimized by teams of analysts, behavioral psychologists, and pricing specialists whose only job is to extract the maximum amount of money from your habits before you notice what's happening. The extended warranty pitch was tested in thousands of stores to find the exact wording that bypasses your resistance. The airport water bottle is priced by revenue analysts who calculated exactly how thirsty you'll get before paying whatever they charge. The Airbnb fee reveal is timed to appear at the precise psychological moment when you're too committed to walk away. The gym counts on January emotion and February reality with mathematical certainty. This is not paranoia, this is business. And here's the number I need you to carry with you when you leave this video. Pick just 5 items from today's list: the unused gym membership, the storage unit, the bar tab habit, the convenience store stops, the premium grocery store. Just 5. The combined annual cost of those 5 habits for the average household exceeds $9,000. $9,000 per year flowing from your account to corporations that have spent billions figuring out how to keep it flowing. $9,000 invested annually at 8% for 25 years becomes $730,000. Not from a raise, not from a second job, not from a lucky investment, simply from stopping payments on things that stopped being worth it maybe years ago while your habit kept the autopilot running. The most frightening part of this entire conversation is not the individual prices. It's the fact that you already knew most of this. Somewhere, quietly, you already knew the airport water was overpriced. You already knew the gym membership wasn't being used. You already knew the Airbnb fees were getting out of hand. You knew, and you kept paying. Because awareness without action is just expensive clarity. So here's the only thing that matters now. Pick one item from this list, the one that hit hardest, the one that made you think of your own account, and cancel it this week. Not someday. Not when it's more convenient. This week. One cancellation. One redirect. One decision to stop paying the loyalty tax on habits that stop serving you. The companies will not tell you when they've crossed the line from reasonable to exploitative. They will not send you an email when your money starts working harder for them than it does for you. That calculation is yours to make. And now finally, you have everything you need to make it.